I think it's time, guys. I think it's finally time. Streamers need to be Okay, yeah, it is actually way past time, but today we're not going to be talking about the seemingly never-ending roster of adult content creators who message children inappropriately, and instead we're going to be talking about torture! More specifically, a form of torture outlawed by the Geneva Convention, which actually doesn't apply here because the streamer in question isn't being forced to do this against his will by a war criminal. It's self-inflicted, live from his bedroom. Just in case you missed it, last week a YouTuber called Norm attempted to stay awake for 12 full days to beat a world record, and this was his third attempt at that record. And obviously I feel entirely qualified to talk about this as someone who can't even go 24 hours without sleep. Viewers who managed to catch the live stream had reported seeing him phasing in and out of consciousness, and at one point even losing the ability to read. And others said when he did attempt to nod off, his companions would pour water in his mouth, choking him, and obviously jolting him awake. Sometimes they'd even hit him with a broom. And people were like genuinely worried. The streamer repeatedly had to confirm that this was at his request and that the others aren't holding him hostage. But emergency services were called to check in on him multiple times, and he had stopped at nothing that got in his way, right up until he got banned on YouTube. But don't worry, the show must go on as he moved over to Kick, where he got banned again. And of course, where would you end up if even Kick won't host your psychotic attempts at entertainment? Rumble. He ended the stream at 264 hours, 24 minutes while streaming on Rumble. Now, there's one very important factor that I've omitted until now. Not only would Guinness not even recognize his attempt at a world record because they stopped accepting new attempts because it's torture, all the previous attempts were made with medical assistance nearby and without the casual waterboarding, but also the actual record is 453 hours and 40 minutes by Robert McDonald. That's 18 days. So he didn't even beat the record. Not that he should have, or that I'm encouraging this is all very messed up. There seems to be some disagreement, so I actually looked it up. Symptoms you may experience after staying up for more than 48 hours include memory loss, inability to focus, muscle weakness, tremors, heightened anxiety, paranoia, hallucinations, delusions, rapid heart rate, inability to make decisions, poor reaction time, difficulty speaking, and physical illness due to your impaired immune system. And that's just 48 hours. Did you know that 20 years ago here in the UK, we had a reality TV show called Shattered, where a number of contestants were tasked with staying awake for as long as possible. And the winner of that show only made it to 178 hours. But let's not give Mr. Beast any more ideas. Okay, it's time to address the elephant in the room. Could it have all been faked? I mean, I didn't watch the whole stream. But then I'm not sure what's worse, doing all this to yourself for attention and potentially inspiring others to go a step further, or faking doing all of this for attention and still potentially inspiring others. I hope the next fun streamer trend is seeking therapy. Unfortunately, I don't think this will be the last of this type of challenge that we see. If you'll recall, around this time last year, a Twitch streamer attempted to spend 3 days locked in a dark closet and viewers could pay to torment him with flashbangs, ping pong balls, leaf blower, and even shooting water at him. He only made it halfway through the 3-day challenge, and while visibly distressed, said that he couldn't sleep, see, or breathe and gave up.
Thank you.
Only to then convince his mod to take on the challenge for a brand new car. What the f- Anyway, back to Norm. This is just one more unnecessary streaming challenge that we didn't need, can potentially cause irreparable harm to a body, and worst of all, you run the risk of becoming a Kick streamer.